Ever felt like you were walking on eggshells, constantly worried about what others think of you? You're not alone. In today's social media-obsessed world, it's easy to get caught up in the opinions of others. But what if I told you that there's a way to break free from that constant need for validation? The ancient Stoics, a group of Greek and Roman philosophers, had a pretty radical idea: stop caring what people think. Now, before you write them off as a bunch of grumpy old men, hear me out. These guys were onto something. They believed that our happiness should come from within, not from the approval of others. Imagine you're at a party and you're feeling a bit awkward. You're worried about what people might be thinking about your outfit or your conversation skills. Instead of letting those thoughts consume you, a Stoic would encourage you to focus on your own behavior. Are you being kind, honest, and just? If so, then who cares what anyone else thinks? So, why should you care what the Stoics have to say about this? Well, for starters, their ideas have stood the test of time. For centuries, people have been grappling with the same issues we face today: anxiety, insecurity, and the fear of judgment. The Stoics offer a practical philosophy that can help us navigate these challenges. In this guide, we'll explore the Stoic perspective on seeking approval from others, and we'll learn practical techniques to help you let go of that need. We'll delve into concepts like virtue, reason, and the dichotomy of control. By the end, you'll have the tools you need to live a more authentic and fulfilling life. Understand the power of your mind. Ever felt like your thoughts are running wild, controlling your emotions and actions? That's because they kind of are. The ancient Stoics, those wise old Greeks and Romans, really dug into this idea. They figured out that it's not what happens to us that messes us up. It's what we think about what happens to us. Think of your mind as a supercomputer. It's constantly processing information and creating thoughts. Some of these thoughts are helpful, but others can be downright toxic. The key is to learn how to manage your thoughts, not let them manage you. Let's say you're stuck in traffic. You could get all worked up, honk your horn, and yell at other drivers. Or you could use this time to listen to a podcast, enjoy the scenery, or simply relax. The difference between these two reactions is entirely in your mind. So, how can you harness the power of your mind? Challenge your thoughts. When you have a negative thought, ask yourself if it's really true. Often, our thoughts are based on assumptions or biases. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It can help you to become more aware of your thoughts and feelings. Visualize success. Imagine yourself achieving your goals. Visualization can help to boost your confidence and motivation. Practice gratitude. Focusing on the positive aspects of your life can help to shift your mindset and improve your overall well-being. The Stoics believed that the key to happiness is to live in accordance with nature. And by nature, they meant our rational minds. By understanding and controlling our thoughts, we can live a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Remember, your mind is a powerful tool. Use it wisely. Challenge your beliefs. Ever caught yourself thinking, "Everyone hates me," or "I'm not good enough"? These kinds of negative thoughts can really drag us down. But here's the thing, most of the time, our beliefs about ourselves and the world aren't based on facts, but on our own interpretations of events. The Stoics called these interpretations judgments, and they believed that it's not the events themselves that cause us suffering, but our judgments about those events. So, if you want to feel happier and more fulfilled, you need to start challenging your beliefs. Imagine you're at a party and someone doesn't say hello to you, you might think, they must hate me. But is that really the only explanation? Maybe they're just having a bad day, or they didn't see you. By challenging this negative thought, you can prevent it from ruining your night. Here are some tips for challenging your beliefs. Ask yourself, why? When you have a negative thought, ask yourself why you believe it. Is there any evidence to support it? Consider alternative explanations. There's usually more than one way to look at a situation. Try to come up with some alternative explanations for why things happened the way they did. Practice cognitive restructuring. This technique involves replacing negative thoughts with more positive and realistic ones. Seek feedback. Talk to someone you trust about your thoughts and feelings. They may be able to offer a different perspective. Remember, your beliefs are not set in stone. You have the power to change them. By challenging your negative thoughts, you can improve your mental health and overall well-being. Focus on your values. Ever felt like you were just going through the motions, not really living life on your own terms? That's probably because you're not grounded in your values. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who were all about living a good life, were huge on values. They believed that when you live in alignment with what truly matters to you, you're less likely to get swayed by the opinions or expectations of others. Imagine your values as your personal compass. They guide you through life's ups and downs, helping you make decisions that are true to yourself. So, what are your values? Are they things like honesty, kindness, creativity, or freedom? Let's say you value honesty. If someone asks for your opinion on something, you're more likely to be upfront and truthful, even if it might be uncomfortable. Or maybe you value creativity. You might spend your free time pursuing creative hobbies, even if they don't pay the bills. Here's how to focus on your values. Identify your values. Take some time to think about what truly matters to you. What kind of person do you want to be? Prioritize your values. Once you've identified your values, rank them in order of importance. Make decisions based on your values. When you're faced with a decision, ask yourself, does this align with my values? Live your values. Incorporate your values into your daily life. The Stoics believed that the best way to live a good life is to live in accordance with nature. And by nature, they meant our rational minds. When we live in alignment with our values, we're living in accordance with our true nature. Remember, your values are a powerful tool. Use them to guide your life and make meaningful choices. Practice self-compassion. Ever been your own worst critic? We all have those moments where we beat ourselves up for making a mistake or not measuring up to our own or society's standards. But what if I told you that being kind to yourself is actually a strength, not a weakness? The Stoics, with their reputation for being tough and stoic, might surprise you here. While they emphasized virtue and reason, they also understood the importance of self-compassion. They realized that being too hard on yourself could lead to burnout and hinder your growth. Imagine you're learning a new skill, like playing the guitar. You're practicing every day, but you're still making a lot of mistakes. It's easy to get frustrated and think, I'm terrible at this. But instead of beating yourself up, try to approach the situation with self-compassion. Remember that everyone starts somewhere and progress takes time. Here's how to practice self-compassion. Talk to yourself kindly. Would you talk to a friend the way you talk to yourself? If not, it's time to change that. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness can help you to become more aware of your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Celebrate your successes. No matter how small, celebrate your accomplishments. Forgive yourself. Everyone makes mistakes. Learn from them and move on. The Stoics believed that we should strive to be virtuous, but they also understood that we are human and will make mistakes. By practicing self-compassion, we can cultivate a more positive and resilient mindset. Remember, it's okay to not be perfect. In fact, embracing your imperfections can make you a stronger and more compassionate person. Live in the present moment. Ever caught yourself daydreaming about the future or dwelling on the past? It's easy to get caught up in our thoughts and lose sight of what's happening right now. The Stoics, those ancient Greek and Roman philosophers, were big on staying grounded in the present moment. They believed that happiness and peace of mind can only be found in the here and now. Imagine your mind is like a radio station. If you're constantly flipping through channels, jumping from thought to thought, you're never going to be able to truly appreciate the current song. The same goes for your life. When you're constantly thinking about the past or worrying about the future, you're missing out on the beauty of the present moment. Let's say you're at a beautiful beach, feeling the sand between your toes and the warm sun on your skin. But your mind is racing, thinking about all the things you need to do tomorrow. You're missing out on the opportunity to truly relax and enjoy the moment. Here are some tips for living in the present moment. Practice mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment. Engage your senses. Pay attention to the sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and textures around you. Let go of the past. Don't dwell on past mistakes or regrets. Don't worry about the future. You can't control the future, so there's no point in worrying about it. The Stoics believed that the only time we truly have is now. The past is gone, and the future hasn't arrived yet. By focusing on the present moment, we can reduce stress, increase our enjoyment of life, and cultivate a sense of peace. Remember, the present moment is a gift. Unwrap it and enjoy it. Surround yourself with positive people. Ever heard the saying, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with"? It's a pretty accurate statement. The people we surround ourselves with have a huge impact on our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. The Stoics, those wise old Greeks and Romans, knew this too. They understood the importance of choosing our company wisely. Imagine your friends are like plants. Some plants thrive in the sunlight, while others prefer the shade. If you surround yourself with negative people, you're essentially planting yourself in the shade. You're going to have a hard time growing and flourishing. Let's say you have a friend who is always complaining. You find yourself feeling down and negative just being around them. It's time to reconsider that friendship. Here's how to surround yourself with positive people. Evaluate your relationships. Take a look at the people in your life. Are they uplifting and supportive, or are they draining and negative? Spend time with positive people. Seek out people who inspire and motivate you. Join groups or clubs. This is a great way to meet new people who share your interests. Limit your exposure to negative people. If you can't avoid negative people altogether, try to limit your interactions with them. The Stoics believed that we should seek out wise and virtuous people to learn from. By surrounding ourselves with positive influences, we can improve our own lives and the lives of others. Remember, the people you choose to spend your time with matter, so choose wisely. Practice Stoic exercises. Ready to level up your Stoic game? It's time to dive into some practical exercises. The Stoics weren't just thinkers, they were doers. They developed a whole bunch of mental workouts to strengthen their minds and help them live a more virtuous life. Think of these exercises like going to the gym for your brain. Just as physical exercise builds muscle, these mental exercises will help you build resilience, wisdom, and inner peace. Let's take negative visualization, for example. This is where you imagine the worst-case scenario. Sounds a bit morbid, right? But hear me out. By mentally preparing yourself for adversity, you'll be less likely to be caught off guard when bad things happen. Say you're about to give a big presentation at work. Instead of just worrying about it, you could practice negative visualization. Imagine that you mess up your lines, forget what you're saying, and everyone laughs at you. By mentally rehearsing this worst-case scenario, you'll realize that it's not as bad as you think. Here are a few more Stoic exercises to try. Journaling. Write about your thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Memento mori. Regularly remind yourself that you're going to die. This might sound morbid, but it can help you appreciate life more. View from above. Imagine looking down at your life from a higher perspective. This can help you put your problems into perspective. Amor fati. Embrace whatever happens to you, good or bad. The Stoics believed that we should strive to be virtuous, but they also understood that we are human and will make mistakes. These exercises can help us cultivate the virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Remember, progress takes time. Be patient with yourself and keep practicing. So, we've journeyed through the Stoic philosophy of not caring what people think. We've explored the idea that our happiness shouldn't be tied to the approval of others. And we've learned practical techniques to help us break free from the need for validation. Remember, the Stoics weren't just a bunch of grumpy old philosophers sitting on a porch. They were real people living in a complex world. They understood the power of societal pressures and the desire to fit in. But they also realized that true freedom comes from within. When you're not constantly worrying about what others think, you're free to be yourself. Imagine it like this. You're a bird in a cage. The cage is made up of the opinions of others. The more you try to please everyone, the more confined you feel. But when you decide to break free from that cage, you can soar to new heights. The Stoics would say that the only opinion that truly matters is your own. When you live in accordance with your values and principles, you're living a truly authentic life. And that's something to be proud of. So the next time you find yourself worrying about what someone might think, take a deep breath and remember, you're not here to please everyone. You're here to live your life on your own terms. Remember, the journey of self-discovery is a lifelong one. There will be ups and downs, but by embracing the Stoic philosophy, you'll be better equipped to handle whatever life throws your way.